Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting. So just running you through today, one of my favorite topics, it's sales funnels and websites. So what I want to run you through a bit about is what is a sales funnel and what is a website? So what's the difference between them? Why are sales funnels more effective than websites? This is my personal belief, just from having a pretty high sales background and understanding, internet marketing. A big influence for me in internet marketing was Russell Brunson, founder of ClickFunnels. He was the inventor of the sales funnel, or the sales funnel as we know it. So one of the greatest people to learn online marketing from, if you ever want to learn. Alrighty. How to use funnels to give your business flexibility. So what a funnel can do for your business in the sense is essentially it's like having a website for individual products. So what you can do with that is you can identify a trend or a niche in the market, and you can create a sales funnel, create a marketing campaign to drive some traffic to that funnel, and basically capitalize on it for a very short term. But it doesn't take a long period, and it doesn't cost anything to build. So it's quite easy to build a sales funnel in about, an hour or 2 hours after you do about a month's worth of work on it. Because you just got to get used to, what are some basic web design principles? What are some of the SEO and the design layout in terms of using words and things like that on how Google wants it to rank. And then there's other things like copywriting, and then we've got after that, like what is the sales videos that we're putting in there, or how are we trying to influence people? Because from my learnings in sales and my experiences is we cannot influence anyone through words or through written words. It's only through tonality, your facial expressions, your body language. They're the core drivers of our communication and how we communicate and how we know and trust each other. So yeah. And then the next one is just how to use funnels to maximize your output while remaining cost effective and time reductive. So the key to that is how can we create very cost effective marketing strategies with a way to capitalize on that. So a way to get an order paid. You know what I mean? So we can sell products through there. We can sell services through a funnel. We can sell, if you wanted to sell appointments, or you could do appointments as a lead magnet, where you use the appointment, which is value to the client. So it might be, like a financial review if you're a financial planner, or, if you're in property, you're giving them a free information session where you're going to educate them on how to do, their finances for purchase, how to, look for property, how to identify land, things like that. And then what you're able to do is when you develop and when you understand how it works, and with how simple My New Admin has their drag and drop menu. So you can use drag and drop, you can fully customize it. If you have a coder, they can do custom code for you if you know anyone that does web development or anything like that. Downside to web development, generally, if they do the code for you on your website, they'll have their own ways of doing it. So another person coming in to try and take over that, it can sometimes be clunky. So I know personally of some businesses that have been ripped off by IT providers like that have done them up a website, and then to do any change to that website, the minutest change, so the smallest change, $500,000-$600,000 a hit. You know what I mean? And they held the keys to it because it was their intellectual property. They created it. So that's another really good thing to understand, the flexibility of being able to do things yourself. You have the freedom to be able to implement ideas straight away. You have the freedom to jump on a dime. And that's the key in business, is how can we, at the lowest cost to us in terms of money, in terms of resources, in terms of time expenditure, like how do we minimize those so we can maximize effectiveness? Because if it took you, say, 5 hours to do up a sales funnel, you could do one of those a week and just say for, one day you're doing a half a day and then half a day is doing up a funnel. So you can make offers and alter offers rapidly. That's a great thing. The other thing is when we get into the sales funnel and we get into the psychology behind it, what we're looking to do is we can really maximize on sales, because we make it simple for the consumer to purchase from us, but we don't ask for the order up front. We offer them value before we ask them for anything. So we build a lot of rapport and a lot of trust with our consumer, because we're giving them true, we're not lying to them. We're giving them honest, valuable information, or honest, valuable expert, appraisals, or whatever it may be. And we're building a connection with them. And what we can do then to go even further is we create marketing strategies that outline and sort of condition that client by giving them, high quality information and asking for nothing. Giving them high quality information, asking for nothing. Giving them high quality information, asking for their email address. Giving high quality information, asking them to purchase a product. And then when they purchase the product and they've said yes, the best time to upsell is always when someone said yes, because statistically 50% of them will say yes. So we upsell them. And then what happens is, if they don't take that upsell, well, then we can have a downsell offer. And we can continuously do that if we strategize and create a very unique way of doing it, or a very unique approach. We can do up to 7, 8. Some of them can go as long as they want, where we just keep offering them products that are very tailored to what their needs are, or very tailored to their wants. So that's a really awesome thing about a sales funnel, is we can go from one sale, so purchasing a lead and having one lead and having it worth one sale, and then we can multiply that into maybe 2 sales, or maybe 3 in the one transaction, because we've already got their credit card details, in terms of, we've offered them a product, they've said yes, we want to buy it. So now they don't have to do anything else but just say yes or no. So we can make, and what we do to that to increase our conversion rates is we have to have irresistible offers. So we got to make offers for them that are, we're giving them 10 value, asking for $1. Giving them $10 of value, asking for $1, because that way, they're loving life. They can't say a bad thing, in terms of, we've given them so much value for so little, that the likelihood that they buy and want to purchase larger products or larger offers to support your brand or your business is a trend that happens. So if you use your sales funnels strategically, in the sense that you don't look to capitalize on every sale, you look to, get them in the habit of purchasing from you, building, because every time they say yes and they purchase, you're building a bit more rapport with them. Because now we've got multiple transactions that they've done with us. So multiple times they've done business, and it's the outcomes from that. So have we delivered, or have we over-delivered? Always over-deliver, under-promise, because we don't ever want to be over-promising and under-delivering, because the problem with that is it just ruins the reputation, in terms of we've got resentment, and then we've got to fight with buyer's remorse and all of that. And we don't want to do that, because that just means you've got to then take resources that you could have deployed to, 10x or 5x or whatever through, some form of going after an opportunity. Now you've got to use it to put out fires and refund people, and it's a lot of time wasted. So what we want to do is we want to minimize the time wasted when we're using sales funnels, because they're automated, so they can just run. So what will happen is, you might be in a niche, you might see a niche space, create a sales funnel, and it might be, take a little bit, but then it gets highly effective. And your marketing campaign gets highly effective. So you're driving a lot of traffic for, cents on the dollar. And what will happen is people will see that. So they come in, they reverse engineer your process, and they'll start competing with you. And what that does is that doesn't erode your product. That just shows that you have, that you've proven the model, and now other people want to take advantage of it, or not so much take advantage of it, but they see the opportunity that you saw, because you've minimized the risk by showing that it's, it is possible. So what will happen is that then may become unsustainable, where it becomes too expensive. So what we can do is have multiple funnels that we utilize to keep our costs down low. And that's where the strategy in how do we deploy sales funnels, how do we utilize them, do we just have a sales funnel that basically, we're doing only one for the product or the business, and then we're just using that as, our informational, book your meetings or whatever it may be. And basically we can do that, or what we can do is we can have multiple funnels for your best-selling products or your best-selling services. And what we can do is we can highly tune and strategize our, multiple sort of different angles that have enough of a variety of a gap to where, if we're doing keywords or, paid advertisements, if we jump from one to the other, there's a bit of a gap between the majority of people competing with us and us, so we can get that sweet spot again. And that's where the really understanding, a couple of different variables that influence the purchase of the product. All right, so I'll jump in and I'm just going to explain to you guys basically how to edit and set up your sales funnel. So the difference between a sales funnel and a website that I've found is, think of it like a shop front window. So a website is, you've got an amazing shop front window, and then you've got your best-selling products and your offer. Your best-selling products and your offer. So it might be, your offer might be on sale $19.95 down from $29.95. So, that's great. But the problem is that doesn't cause people to jump out and do stuff. So the problem with a website is websites look very good, but there's nothing directing or driving it. So the difference with a sales funnel is, imagine that same shop front window, and you've got your best products there, and then you've got a sales representative out the front that's greeting people, that's explaining, the company's values, the company's ambitions, their mission in life, going through and just explaining, hey, these are the best-selling products. These are the type of consumers that typically buy them. If that's something that, aligns with you, I can take you inside and show you someone to talk to, or something like that, or sell them on the spot, whatever it may be. But that's the power of using audio and video. So video is the most powerful in terms of, people want to consume content in video because they don't just want to hear you, but they want to see your facial expressions. Like, there's so much more communication that happens through our body language and our tonality and our facial expressions. So when we only do audio, we're only able to get across our tonality and the words that we use. Alrighty. So it's easy as to get into the drag and drop options. So basically, what is our sales funnel need to have depending on what we're trying to do. So this is a sales funnel that is similar to a website where we've got multiple pages that mimic sort of like how a website has multiple pages. But it's quite simple in the fact that we've just got the one drop down. So we just go straight down, and what we're able to do is we're able to then go in and we're able to edit the photo content, the video content, and all of that. And when we look at in terms of SEO, you're able to then do your keyword targeting into, your copywriting on your website or the sales funnel. So that's where this has a massive advantage over traditional funnels, is that you can't do fully customized, because this is essentially a website on its own. So the keywords that you target, the content you put up there will generate towards your SEO scores. So if you, fine tune your content, understand how to, one, create great content that Google loves, and two, how to identify trending keywords. So in terms of, if there's a trending in fashion and you work in fashion, how can you curate your sales funnel to start picking up those free keywords? So start ranking for the keywords that are going to be, they're not hot right now, but they're going to be hot in 6 months. And we can put in the groundwork now so that when it becomes hot and everyone jumps on, you're 6 months ahead of them. So that's one of the goals with having a highly nimble and highly flexible sales funnel, is we're able to identify trends, get in front of the trend, and then just basically decimate. Because if we have already got all of our information and our sales process in terms of what do we need to succeed in terms of when scrolling through, what is the information that we want to see, or how is it meant to be presented in our viewpoint, so that we say, yeah, I know, like, and trust you. So this is a great approach to doing it if you do it in the sense of a website, because it's a lot more cleaner and easier, and it's a lot more cost effective, because it might take 15-20 minutes, for example, for you to fill out all the copy, or it might even take, it took me about a week for the first sales funnel I did up, just because it's quite hard, because you're trying to word things, and this is your thoughts, this is your brand. So it is important, the words that you say, and it's important how you represent yourself. So what I always say is always aim to be congruent with who do you want to expect your brand to be, like who are you presenting yourself as, and who do people expect to see. So that's a very good thing to keep in mind when constructing the layout of your website or funnel, is, this is essentially what we want to get across, is sort of our personality onto it, because that's what people will connect with. All right. So essentially what we usually will have is you'll have your logo over in the left. So if you jump on that, this is just a headline. So if we wanted to put in a logo, like let's say we had a logo that we wanted to put in up here, and we've just got the image file, that's no stress. We can just chuck that up there. And then all we do is just delete off that old header. And now we've got, so I'll import and show you how to do it. Or with one of mine, if it's here. There it is. So it's as easy as that. You just basically click on there, click over to getting your media, and then Bob's your uncle, she's in there. So it's like that's one of the more difficult things you might have to do in it. Essentially, when we go through it, what we've got is we've got sections, rows, columns, and elements. So this is just how do we visually break up the page to where do we want information to sit? How do we want it to sit? Just because what these do is this is essentially like a section is a sequence of code that you would type in that would tell the computer that, hey, there's an image that's going to be here. This is what the image is. Pull this file and put it there. You know what I mean? So what that does is it's so simple, because all you got to understand is your section. What it does is you can have a full width, you can have, wide, medium, small. So what this does is this will basically show you, it'll segment it off. So it'll create a little segment like that. And then from that, we can put our rows in. So how much information do we want? Do we just want to have one picture and text in a single line? Or do we want to have two, like down here? See how we've got two of the pink or the purple and one of the blue. So the blue is the section, the pink is the row. And then as we go into the orange, that's your column. Alrighty. So yeah, what we want to do is with this, we want to get used to how do we break up information and how do we lay out information easily so that when people scroll through, it looks good. You know what I mean? Because if it doesn't look good, you're going to have a high bounce back rate where people click on it, they'll have a bit of a look, and if there's too much content on there in terms of like videos and widgets and things like that, and that's one of the downsides to websites is they are made complexly, because web developers do like that. Like if you nerd out on anything, you want to make the most complex thing, because it's challenging, but it's also more rewarding to do something quite complex. But the problem with that is that'll usually lead to having longer load times. And because everyone has shifted from computers, which were usually, broadband, dial up, they were a fixed sort of network, so they had sort of set speeds. What's happened is we've moved over to mobile. So with mobile, if it's taking longer than, and you'd know this yourself, if you go to load a website and it takes longer than, 8, 9, 10 seconds, more than likely you're going to exit out and you're going to go, well, it's taken too long, maybe it's not a real business, this and that, or maybe you'll think that my my service isn't the best, so I'll go and try it on Wi-Fi. So, but to the majority of buyers for your website or your product, or that are looking at your services or products, what's going to happen is they're gonna sit there and the 8 seconds will go up and they'll just be like, I'll do it later. And later never comes. So that's one of the crucial things, is we want to make it as easy for the sale to happen. We want to make it as easy as possible. We want to try and minimize any lag time so that we can minimize the, drop-off rate and things like that. We want to have the best information or the best presentation ready for them, so that when they come on there, they're looking through, and they're, looking at your information, reading your information. Maybe instead of a picture, you've got a sales video here where you're introducing your business and your brand. And what that does is that allows someone to easily, click onto it. And then what they can do is they can, just sit there and listen to you for 30 seconds and, they'll make up their mind. Are you someone that's worth, investing more time to understand? And is your business or your product or your service valuable? And the other alternative is, you're getting them in there and maybe they really enjoy it, and they consume the full content. And maybe that just sparks them and they want to know more. So then they might start researching your business, your product, or your service. And what we're able to do is we're able to strategically put information that we know is going to be vital, or what are their common problems? Like what are the big problems, the big 5 problems that your clients are currently facing that this product or service solves. And we don't put the answer up there, but we put the questions up there. And we give them the answers for free for their email address and contact details. And that's a way that you can easily build a list, start building a list, because it's a really good way to basically get people to self-identify, but also it's an easy, stress-free way. It's not pressuring. So it's easier for the information to be disseminated. If someone's got their guard up or they're thinking that you're being pushy or anything like that, it just creates resistance and barriers. And what we want to try and do is we want to try and use the strategies of how we present ourselves and how we present our information and how we present our brand to really, really break those barriers straight out. And the easiest way to do it is through just being genuine. Through honest communication, through giving out valuable information or giving out valuable services or a valuable product, and doing it for, a market equilibrium price. What is a fair value price for the service, non-indicative of your overall cost, but indicative of the product itself and the value that the product gives to the client. Because if that product, let's say, was a financial investment portfolio that you developed and you're a financial planning institution, if it's a high performer in comparison to the competitors, you're able to charge twice as much as them because your product is exponentially more valuable than theirs. So the key is how do we actually increase the value of our product so that we can charge more and we don't have to race to the bottom, so that we can increase our margins. And one of the best ways that we can do this is through informational products. It's through, offering personalized services, offering a great experience, consumer experience, multiple things, offering, a highly personalized, delivery service or something like that, or way of delivering the product or service. So there's some things to think about when we're curating the information that we put on our sales page, but also when we're creating the content that we want to have on there, is we want to have content that is going to basically lead someone down the line of giving them the right information that generally to 80% of people out of 100 results in them saying, yeah, this sounds like a good idea, or this sounds like something that's for me. And if you want to get right into it and you want to, go to the deep end, Russell Brunson has created the Epiphany Bridge story, where if you ever think back to how you to any belief you've come about. So for your business, you would have created a belief in, I think this product is great. And that would have come from you getting certain information in a specific way, in a certain time frame that gave you just enough time to sort of have the idea resonate with you. And you sort of, you're able to come to it in your own terms. And then basically, you've just had this epiphany, and then the lights are on and we're full steam ahead, everything ahead, we're just going. So the thing is if you can map out that for yourself, and then you can curate it and test it with your audience, what you're able to do is when you hit the sweet spot, you've got now a really powerful message to communicate exactly what you were thinking or what your idea was or what the intention was. and you can communicate that effectively in a way that someone actually, understands it to the extent that you understood it. So that's an awesomely powerful thing, but it is a highly difficult thing to achieve because it takes a lot of time, because you've got to go through your experiences, and then you've got to go through and you've got to then map out, like, how do other people take in information? How's the best way that I can present the information? What are the best references I can use? How can I relate things so that when I say things, people feel them? Like, how can I talk with a high amount of emotional intelligence so that, I'm not coming off as abrasive or brash. I'm coming off as compassionate, genuine, caring. Because that's what we want to do, because we want to sort of bypass some of the self-defenses. And, one of the key ones is like, if someone's humble and they talk to you humbly, it breaks a lot of your defenses down because you don't perceive a threat, or you don't perceive an offense, or whatever it may be. So understanding that in the psychology, and then how do we do that and introduce that into technology so we can get to the masses? And that's sort of one of the cool things about sales funnels, is once we have it up and running and once we have it fine-tuned, it'll just produce. If we send people there, 80% say yes. And that's a really, really powerful tool in your business, because then we can take the smallest idea or the smallest opportunity and expand it out. We can explore it, and then we can look at, how do we market for the lowest cost but the highest impact in terms of building the brand awareness or building the product awareness. Because the main part of marketing, when we're marketing a new product or a new service or a new opportunity, is we're trying to market information, but we've got to educate people on why is it valuable, what does it do. It is going to work for you, or it is valuable to you. We've got to really, really educate them, and that's the most costly part, because if you're educating someone through ads and you're paying $1 every time you've got to put an ad through them in front of them, what'll happen is, statistically at the moment, it's around 26 times someone's got to see your ad or your brand's name before they're comfortable to click on it. And I personally can attest to this, because I've noticed within myself, when new ideas are presented to me, there's usually a rejection, because I don't understand it. I can't comprehend it. So I need to sit with an idea until I sort of work through it and I sort of understand it. And it's usually about 3 conversations about a new idea. And I sort of understand it to the point where my beliefs will shift if there's valid information, if it's actually valuable, or it actually does what it says it does. Because there's a lot of fake information out there, and that is one of the crucial things in business. Is a lot of marketing gurus will tell you their services are amazing until you're 6 months in and you're spending $1,000 a week, and you're getting 100 leads that are just the lowest quality leads. So the key is how do we get great leads? You know what I mean? So this is one of the stages, because this helps us qualify people in, because we're able to excite them, we're able to get them going great. And then on a sales funnel, we would just have an irresistible offer that would be down here. And what we're able to do is we're able to do the value stacker, where it can be, offer 1, offer 2, offer 3, offer 4, and there's 5 offers in the one offer. So what we're able to do, is we're able to go and project out, well, how much would it have cost if we were to sell this as a single item? And, so it might be $99 for offer 1, $299 for offer 2, $399 for offer 4, $1,099 for offer 4 or 5. And basically what that'll allow us to do is that allows us to go and then put that total value. And, if you weren't getting this offer, that's what it would cost you. But today we're going to do it for 10% of that price. And what that is that's a 90% reduction in price. And it's not a lie, because you don't need to artificially inflate it. Like, if you artificially inflate it to where you're making out that, this course that you've got, or whatever it may be, is, $2,000, and it took you 2 hours to do, and it's not really well thought out, and it's, not really effective, and you've got no proof of concept. Well, the problem is we're then overinflating, and so what we're doing is we're over promising and under delivering. So that's never a good recipe for success. So one of the key things to do is we can use the value stacker to basically put in reasonable amounts. So it might be, $29 for a course or something like that, or it might be a 3-day or an 8-day challenge or something like that, and you do it for like $89 or something. And that's quite a reasonable price, because, if you spent $89 and it wasn't the greatest, you wouldn't be as upset as if you spent $200 or $300 or $400. So, if it's not as good, it's less of a negative effect, because people aren't perceiving it to be worth so much more. Because whenever you put an associated price with an offer or a product, you're now telling someone what the value is. So whatever that price is, if it's $300, people will work out, well, how much time do I have to spend at work? What do I have to do to, earn that $300 to give you? So, if you're getting $40 an hour, that might be, 12 hours of work or something like that. So what you're looking at is, trying to have your prices reflective and quite reserved. But when you add them up, and the offer, as it goes down, we can add on bigger offers. So, it could be, offer one is, an information package worth $29, or a custom report or something like that. And then the second offer could be, like an 8-day challenge. And then the third offer could be a mini course. And then the fourth offer could be like a 6-month course or a 6-week course. And then the fifth offer could be a meet and greet, or an in-person sort of mastermind with all the participants of the course. And you can do that bi-yearly, you know what I mean? So that's how you can do it, because that final one, when proof of concept is there for the product or the service, if it was an informational product or a service, then if the information's on point, what will happen is the value of that bottom one will be truly reflective. Because for a mastermind, you could put up there like $4,099. But if you're getting, if you were getting people results in whatever it may be that the mastermind does, or the meet and greet does, what you're able to do is you're able to then put the value that they're receiving from it as the price, because they're receiving quite good price, quite good value. So what you want to do is you pull back about 10% of whatever the value they get, and that's how you can come up with your pricing, because it's an easy way. And for example, if you got them 280,000, because there was multiple business owners or multiple people or multiple different people in the room, and 2 people came together and made a deal, and that deal was worth 300,000, and let's just say 2 of them were real estate agents. Well, then you can say, by coming to my mastermind, like this is the value that the last group got out of it. And then you can say, this is how much it's worth if I were to charge you to come. And that's a great way to look at it, because when they look at it, it's only 10% of what the last value was. And if you focus like highly on professionalization and getting niching out and getting highly effective and becoming a very like one of the leading experts in your industry, that should always be any business owner's passion, to become one of the leaders, because you want to be pushing yourself, innovating to be your best every day, because through that you develop. Through that, any business struggle is easy. It's only when we take a step back and we sort of take our foot off the pedal and we stop, maybe reading as much, or maybe staying up to date with the market or what's happening. And that's when we get hit. That's when it hurts us, because we're not ready for what's coming. So that's always a good thing, is to, in whatever you're doing, whatever you're selling, whatever your services are, to really, really focus in on not even being the best, just performing at your best. So every day that you come in, or everything that you do, you're looking to do your best. No one will determine it but you. But the best part is the exterior effect, or one of the secondary effects of you doing your best, is that you feel better about yourself. So you get more confidence. And then what happens is, when you get more confidence, you have more certainty when you're selling, and you have more certainty when you're talking, and the language you use changes because the beliefs you have shifted. So that's a really great part about understanding like sales, and also understanding how psychology affects sales outcomes. Yeah. So sales is one of my passions. So as you can see, I can talk pretty much for an eternity about sales, just because I love to talk about it. But the other thing is sales funnels are just an aspect of sales. So sales is one side of the coin of marketing. So sales and marketing go hand in hand. Marketing is how do you get attention? Sales is how do you capitalize on that attention? So once you've got your sales funnel up and running, then you do marketing to test, is your messaging effective? Is your layout effective? And you do incremental changes. And what you're able to do is you're able to then go and create A/B testing. So A/B testing at the start isn't that important, to the extent that basically you don't need to worry about A and B testing, because just having the one and getting the one good is easy enough. Like you don't have to have multiple sales funnels of the same product with multiple different messages to start with. You start with one, you get one really good. Once you can do that quite easily and it's effortless, then you move on and you can do two. You know what I mean? But if you've got a bigger team and you've got, your marketing experts, or you get into this and you really enjoy it, A and B testing is really good, because you can live have two different messages for the same product, and you can see real results in live stream. So if one's outperforming the other, you can shut the other off, and then you divert all your attention to that one. And you can do it with the content that you put on your website, or the words that you use, the copy that you use, the images that you use. You can shift all of that around so that half the people that go to the website or the sales funnel see one, half of them see the other, and then we test. So that's an awesome aspect of sales funnels that they don't really do with websites, because they are designed to essentially be a sales process. They're designed to be testable, to be able to collect data. Typically you can't really do that with a website, in the sense that you wouldn't go out and have someone build out two different websites, because the amount of coding required would be quite difficult. Now, many web developers probably do that. But yeah, doing it on a new project or anything like that, it would just be pricey. All right. So that's pretty much it on the sales funnels and websites. Essentially, with the websites, if you wanted to do drag and drop, that's easy as. There's some great websites that they've got templated up that you can always get. And they have like done for you services. So if you wanted them to do you up a quick website over at My New Admin, they can do you up a quick website, and they've got thousands of these templates that they test out with their businesses. So that's one of the awesome things, is that, you know, you might pay $99 for the website and Bob's your uncle, you know, or you just put in a week and you can build it out yourself. Alternatively, if you do have, you know, a web developer or IT team or an IT person, they can come in and do your WordPress website through My New Admin, so that everything's integrated and everything's easy, so that you're not having to go to third-party sites to edit your website. You can do it through the software, and basically while you calling your clients, you can be building out websites or building out sales funnels or writing blogs, you know. So it's a really cool thing. All right, well, that's pretty much everything from me. Thanks so much. Bye.